Welcome back to Play PSVR, the podcast, episode 93. Is that where we're at now? 94? Something like that.
94.
94. And, it's everybody's talking about Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve. It's not Adam and Eve. It's Adam and me. How you doing, Adam? I got a hot biology fact for you, by the way, speaking of Eve and naked and boobies. Adam, did you know that you're born with 4 kidneys?
I did not know.
Because when you grow up, 2 of them turn into adult knees. Boom. There's my bad joke for you, Adam.
Oh
Hopefully.
my, listen, welcome to Play PSVR2, the podcast. And look, I want you, the listener, to do as Alex's tattoo above his butt says, come on in. That's how you get a joke, son. That's how you lay down the lumber.
That's how you lay down the lumber. Oh my goodness, Adam, we got a lot of stuff to cover actually. For a pretty slow news week, we got stuff to cover. What's your gamer juice tonight, man?
So here's the exciting thing. I'm trying to elevate. I made homemade lemonade. That's right, nothing but lemon and aid and water and sugar. So I'm gonna pour this in here, and then I was like, what's next level? Here's what's next level. I didn't have any ice trays, so I had to, But what I did is I took mango coconut water, used that as the water and the ice, but then dropped some berries in there. So that is my ice within this. It's just one huge block of. And the thing is, I hate coconut water. Yeah. I tried the ice cube before we went live. It's horrible.
Horrible. So did you just say you mixed in some AIDS with your lemons?
Lemon and aid, yeah.
Lemon and AIDS. Okay, interesting. My gamer juice, it's blue for Sony, PlayStation. It's platinum for all the trophies I have. It's Bud Light Platinum, Seltzer, Wildberry. Where are we at? There we go.
Oh yeah, wow. Okay.
Made with agave apparently. So yeah, we're grown-ups here. This is a grown-up. We're 93 years old on this podcast, so we can drink whatever we want to.
Here's the thing, Alex. Here's the thing. So, let's just say I'm in my, whatever, screw it. I'm 31, all right? That's how old I am. I was told today by a lady who is 34 that I could date a 22-year-old and it wouldn't be weird. What say you?
Yeah, half your age plus 7, right? So you're 31, so that's 15. So you could date a 22-year-old, yeah.
That's so weird. I don't care what you guys say. And I don't want to derail us because here's the thing. You found some good deals at GameStop this week. And I want you to tell me because I'm itching for a good deal, baby. I love them deals. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I went out to, it was serendipity, all right? Serendipity. I went out to go eat with my family, but we got there before the restaurant opened up, so I had to kill a good 15 minutes. There was a GameStop next door, so I just walked in and was browsing. Got accosted by the person working there. They just would not stop talking to me about the clearance sale they had on where it was like, get something on clearance, it's an additional 50% off. Cool, so I start browsing. There's nothing but Naruto t-shirts, so I'm not really caring. But then I find tucked away, Adam. I find tucked away in a little corner, Doom 3 VR edition for $3 with that yellow sticker on it, which means another 50% off. It was $1.50. Doom 3 VR edition. This is not a bad game. I don't get why. I mean, it was $20 when it came out, but $3. Is it? Maybe it's broken and I don't know. Anyways,
that's
sealed. An insane deal. It's new, but I think it's that GameStop new thing where they take it home and play it and bring it back and they consider it new.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, $3. It could have dog crap all over it for all I care. $1.50. I'll polish it off and there we go.
Especially since we're gonna give it to one of the viewers.
So yeah, in the end, this is mostly just to have some nice stuff to have. We don't have codes. People aren't giving us codes to hand out because there's not really many new games coming out. So what we're doing instead is we're going to be doing some giveaways with this. I also snagged a couple other deals. We got Core Infernal Machines. I think I'm actually going to keep this one because it's kind of a weirdo game. And we're hoping this turns into the next Cubivore and it makes my kids go to college. But then we got Doom VFR for $9, whatever.
Right. Although... how much is it normally?
It came out at 30. It's probably permanently dropped down.
It's a good game, man. Yeah. It's a good game. If you haven't played it, whoever, you need to.
And Blood and Truth, $7. Blood and Truth. So, Blood and Truth, Doom VFR, and Doom 3 VR edition. Adam, do you want to explain to them the rules of how you're going to win one of these games? Or do they got to hear it in the next segment? I don't know.
That's right. So all we want you to do is in the sales segment, it is in the next segment, and we'll give you a reminder. We're going to tell you all the sales, and we just want you to comment on YouTube or email us, contact@playpsvr.com, and tell me what game do I need to play. And Alex is going to choose a random comment, a random game that one of you choose. That person is going to win, get the Doom 3, and then I'm going to have to buy that game, and I'm going to have to play that game, and it probably won't be next episode. It might be next episode, but probably the one after that where I'll have enough time to play it and give a review and let you know how badly you boned me by picking a bad game that I'm probably going to have to play. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to it, and it gives me extra excitement to talk about the sales to see what am I going to have to play here. And I swear if everyone freaking just picks games that has to have the DualShock controller, you can go F yourself.
Yeah, well, that's a great strategy I didn't think about. Somebody's going to do that to you for sure.
Yeah.
At least I hope they do, because you do have to commit at least an hour of playing it. So you have to commit. You'll be spending an hour on the intro screen to Moss is what's going to be happening with that game.
It's beautiful.
It's so pretty. Yeah, you can meditate in there. Anyways, Adam, let's keep it rolling. So I mentioned last week I was going to buy some of the games that were on sale. There were some good sales, so I bought some of the games. And so what we're going to be doing is doing a PowerA Play of the Week. You remember that, guys? Remember that throwback? PowerA Play of the Week Face-Off Edition. I have 2 games here. I'm going to describe the games. And Adam, I want you to try to select which one is my PowerA Play of the Week.
So are you going to tell me about the games, or am I going to have to guess right now just based on the...
No. Let me tell you about the games. I'm going to avoid some critique. I'll just explain it a bit. First one off the bat is Lucky's Tale. Now, I initially wanted this game because I knew it's a game my daughter would enjoy. She liked Astrobot. She loves playing in VR. Lucky's Tale is like a more lighthearted and more cartoonish Astrobot. You play as a little tiny fox and you're running around these environments and collecting coins. Feels very much like Mario. You have a tail that you whip around to fight the enemies with instead of punching like in Mario. You can jump, you can double jump, and you can do, instead of a butt stomp, he just splats his body out. So yeah, you're just running around. It's a platformer, cute platformer, running around, collecting coins. You know, apparently in the game, you're supposed to be, you know, protecting or rescuing your pet pig. But none of that really matters. It's a platformer. So if you're looking for more of that third-person platforming action in VR, which I love, that's what Lucky's Tale was. It's made by Playful Corp. It was $7.99 on sale, but it's normally $20. That's Lucky's Tale.
How many times did you cry?
I mean, I cry every time I play a game that's cute. Every time.
Okay.
You know this by now. The next game I played, I'd not heard about it. It didn't get much fanfare. I don't get it. Yuki by Arvor. Do you know Arvor, Adam? You know what they made?
Sounds familiar, but I don't.
Pixel Ripped. They made Pixel Ripped 1995 and Pixel Ripped 1985. Well, this is another game they came out with. Yuki. It plays like Star Fox or something like that. Star Fox or Rez, kind of. But instead of you like aiming where you look, instead, this is pretty cool. The move controller is like the action figure. So the conceit is that you're like a kid playing with your action figure, flying it around and stuff like that. But then when you play the game, you're moving through these environments. It's considered a bullet hell because you have enemies pop up and shoot bullets at you, and you got to dodge them around with your character, moving it around like that, which is pretty nice. And you're shooting back, and you get upgrades and stuff like that. It's normally $11.99 or normally $20. I got it for $11.99. But yeah, which one of those two do you think is my PowerA Play of the Week, Adam?
So I am sorry for me rooting around. I'm gonna say let's do it. I'm gonna guess. Actually, do you have paper? I want you to write it down. I'm going to guess. And if I get it right, you eat a bean. If I get it wrong, I eat a bean.
Okay, I'm going to write it. I'm writing it down right now.
Okay. So here's my thinking.
I'm just writing down the first letter so that way you can't track how much it's taking me to write.
Okay, that's fair. So my thought here is Yuki, originally you think it's cool, but I feel like it's a little gimmicky, that in the beginning it's really cool, but then it's just another bullet hell. You've done those. You think every game is cool. I think you think that's cool, but Lucky's Tale, you explained more. I think the kind of 2D platformer type things in VR are cool. You could play with your family, which I think adds value to you as a family man. I know you don't care about the money, because you waste so much of it, but it was a better deal technically. So I'm going to say that Lucky's Tale is this week's PowerA Play of the Week.
Well, unfortunately, Adam, for those who can see, that's a letter Y, if you can see
No!
it. A
What?
letter
I
Y.
can't dang a Bob Saget.
A letter Y for
Bull
Yuki.
crap.
And I'll explain my
Why?
reasoning.
What,
Adam,
give me a good reason why.
I think that's the most logical you've ever been in a decision that you've made. I was impressed at how you sussed out your thought, but unfortunately, Yuki is the better game. You gonna
Do
spin
you
it?
want to spin or can I spin here?
You spin. I don't have a good novelty spinner like you do.
Oh, thank gosh.
What is it?
Oh, spoiled milk.
Oh, thank gosh, it's spoiled.
But the thing is, it was close. The other side of the pointer was that dead fish, and that's my second least favorite.
So while you scarf that down, I'll explain my reasoning as to why Yuki wins this PowerA Play of the Week Face-Off Edition. So Lucky's Tale was good, and I actually, when I started it, I was like, all right, we already have the clear winner here, because the graphics are really nice. Apparently, it was a game that came out on Oculus way back when. They've remastered it, made everything look nice and polished. Yeah, that's a stinky box.
Dude, they come with these little packages on this box. I cracked this open and it was like it was like someone taking an old man's butt cheeks who hasn't wiped in about a week, just taking like a thin piece of onion and like putting that between the crack and someone wafting it into my nose. It is horrendous.
Are you in front of the old man's butt crack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, down the hatch, Adam. Enjoy.
Of course,
it's spoiled milk. Lucky's Tale. So right out of the gate, it's looking promising.
Oh gosh, no.
It's looking promising, but as you play Lucky's Tale, it gets more and like you start realizing the difference between it and Astrobot. My Astrobot's so magical. Lucky's Tale's a fun 3D platformer, but it just seems like the mechanics kind of go to waste. Like early in the game, you pick up a ball, and it's like, yeah, you can kick this ball and hit enemies, but like it's not an effective way to fight the enemies because it's way better to just jump on them. And then there's one point where you pick up a bomb, and then you can throw the bomb wherever your headset looks, which is awesome because it's like that cool VR integration. And then you don't see it again. It might show up in like a boss fight or something like that. I didn't get terribly far into it, but you just don't. They had these cool mechanics that they never used. And then on the whole, the game feels kind of floaty. It's a lot slower than Astrobot. So a lot of the fun stuff there kind of annoyed me. And then, like I said, I wanted my daughter to play it. She was super excited to play it, and she couldn't even get out of the tutorial level because it was just kind of so floaty and frustrating to play. And that kind of put a damper on my enthusiasm for it. I'll probably still play it a little bit more. I want to see what the other levels are like, but it was a bit of a disappointment on that front. However, Yuki is the opposite of what happened here. So apparently, Yuki had a demo out. People played it. They said it wasn't anything amazing, and I guess it didn't get much hype. Yuki did not have the best first impression. Right off the bat, and I think this is clever, but right off the bat, you're in like this kid's room, the action figure's in front of you, and you reach out and grab it. Well, I just mistakenly reached out and grabbed it with my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand, and suddenly that determines whether you're left-handed or right-handed and what you're using to like shoot enemies with. So when I first played it, I had to use my left hand the whole time to kind of fight the bad guys and aim, and I'm a terrible aim with the left hand. Played the next level, got the right hand. It was much better. In this game, like I said, you're flying around dodging bullets. If you've ever played like a bullet hell game, Adam, in 2D, part of the fun is like the patterns of the bullets that come out and like the visual of that and then navigating around that. This loses a bit of that charm because it's in like full VR 3D. And so you don't see the patterns, and sometimes it's just like a noise of bullets coming at you, and you just kind of move your person out of the screen as far as possible to not get hit, which works. But they do add elements of like the environment and stuff can get in your way, and you can, crash your character into the environment and get killed. So that makes it fun. But where it really shines is when you get an upgrade, your next action figure has like guided shots. So you don't have to worry about aiming as much, and you can focus more on just like dodging and flying around. And the music in this game. I thought, Adam, how did you not know this is the one I'm choosing? Because I sent you a link last night to the soundtrack of this, and I was like, this song, it sounds like a Rez song. It's amazing. Anyways, I'm belaboring the point. Yuki is awesome. I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much, and the soundtrack is incredible. The environments are great. The story's kind of dumb. The gameplay, just get that first upgrade. It takes like maybe 30 minutes, and then it feels more natural. It feels more enjoyable, and it's a really fun game. But that's it for the PowerA Play of the Week Face-Off Edition. Congratulations, Yuki and Arvor. Your $11.99 game was well worth it.
I'm glad I'm gonna run out of my gamer juice because that spoiled milk was nasty. Okay, here's the thing. I want to talk about a piece. We got some PSVR2 news this week, and I don't know if we're gonna be able to finish our entire discussion because we want to keep this at a manageable segment length before going to the second segment. But I want to start this, Alex. It
Yeah.
has been, I don't know if rumored or it's been shown, whatever you want to say. Sony plans on producing 2 million PSVR2s
Yeah.
in I guess the initial launch. And so at first, I'm going to be honest. I read this. I was like, I don't know what that means. I don't know how many VRs are out there right now. I don't know if that's a big number. I don't know if that's a small number. Like, I didn't know. Here are some stats to drop on you. As of January of 2022, there were 5 million PSVR headsets sold total. Okay. So when you think about that, there 2 million right off the bat is not quite half of what's out there right now for PSVR in general. That's a pretty good percentage, 40% right off the bat. And then Quest 2. And this is where I don't get it, man. There are 14.8 million Quest 2s that have been sold. Now it's kind of hard to find sales numbers. I did
Yeah.
research on the Googles, and this is what I've been able to find. I'm sure someone who's listening can go find another source that's going to be a different number, but these are at least general enough. Would you rather talk about how this is positioning PSVR 2 in the market? Or would you rather talk about why I'm dumbfounded that so many Quest 2s are out there when that surpasses Valve Index, when that probably surpasses the Rift and PSVR all combined?
I mean, I could talk about either one. I can explain to you why there's so many Quest 2s sold if you want that.
I mean, I know you don't need to have another system. I know it's wireless, but that's so many more. Is it all these VR people also are buying a Quest 2? So then you have, whereas like probably if you have a PSVR, like I don't have anything else. I'm not interested in anything else. Like why? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
So the wireless nature of the Quest 2 means that the barrier to entry is way lower, right? I mean, it's like, so here's the weird thing. They just upped the price by $100 for the Quest 2. They raised the price. Normally people lower prices. They raised it by $100. I guess they sold enough and they realized they can slow down that pace. The thing about the Quest 2 is since it's all contained in one headset, you can sell it for like industry purposes too. So there's a whole market there that you can cater to. If you think about somebody paying $300 or some people pay $1,200 for a cell phone, $300 doesn't seem that much for like an entire market that you can now venture out into. And there are practical applications. I've used mine a little bit for work stuff, virtual desktop monitor, stuff like that. So I know, sounds silly, but there's some use cases there. So I think that's why the Quest 2 is really getting ahead of the game in terms of, VR. Because I don't think it's just VR gaming. I think it's a VR headset with gaming on the side. 14.8, that's a staggering number compared to the 5 million that PSVR sold.
Yeah.
But I mean, also it's got Facebook behind it. They're pushing it hard.
That's my thing. I promise you. I personally, I don't have anything against any of the other headsets. I just have limited time. And so and obviously we have a podcast about PlayStation virtual reality, so that's why I've stuck with. But I will never get a Quest. And it's because I hate Facebook. I refuse to have a Facebook account to use it. If
you don't have to anymore, but yeah.
Oh, you don't have to have it?
They just changed it. Yeah, you don't have. And maybe that's why it's $100 more. But yeah, you don't have to have a Facebook account anymore.
Okay, now I would maybe consider it because
they raised the price, and you're cheapo McCheapo, so I have a feeling you're not going to get one. But that's fine because PSVR 2 is coming out. You're good.
That is true. Yeah, I need to save up, and now I bought a Steam Deck, so my money's tied up.
Yeah.
But okay, so do you think? Because initially, when someone sees sales numbers, you think, oh, it sold 3 times as much as the PSVR. It's the better headset. Do you think that's necessarily true? I mean, I know it's generations ahead, right? It's the second Quest. So I guess technically it should be, right?
Yeah, but I think graphically it's not quite as good, but they're kind of since there's so many units sold, here's the issue, right? There's so many units sold. So when somebody's making a game, they will devote more effort to the Quest 2 development, optimizing it, making it look better because they know more people are going to buy it there. If it's really good on Quest 2 but crappy on PSVR, that's okay with them because they're going to get more customers on Quest 2. We see that with some of the games coming out in this late generation PSVR. I think Stride, they just kind of stopped updating it on PSVR, whereas on PSVR or on Quest 2, it's getting a good amount of support. So that kind of stuff happens. I don't think it necessarily makes it better. I mean, of course, I'm biased. I'm going to play PSVR2, the podcast, but I will say that there are some quirky things about the Quest 2. Like the graphics certainly do seem to take a hit. Like Astrobot would never be pulled off on the Quest 2. And there's certain concessions being made. Also, the thing's heavy as hell. It doesn't feel great to wear for a long period of time, whereas the PSVR super comfortable. It's got a wire coming out of it, but you don't notice that after a while because if you're not dancing around and stuff like that, it works just fine.
Just hate the wire, man. I'm like, what of all the things for PSVR 2, what I wanted most was it to be wireless.
No.
And
So we talked about this, but like that wire means that it can actually use the beef of the PlayStation 5 as opposed to wasting resources trying to like stream or something like that. I mean, the streaming technology is good, but you're not going to get a reliable connection.
so how much does the Quest 2, you said it's not quite as graphically inclined. How much does that impact your personal playing experience?
I haven't played many Quest 2 games that are also on PSVR, so I can't really
Oh,
speak to that too much. Um, I mean, I'm not a graphics guy too much either. Like if they're functional and good and the design behind it is all right, then I'm not going to complain too much. So it's not getting in the way, but I have seen like screenshots of Moss on Quest versus PSVR, and it's not quite as enchanting, if that makes sense. Like those kind of games, the final like little bit of flourish that they put on it that like you can do with that extra horsepower really seals that experience that Quest 2 can't do, doesn't quite seal it. Though I will say Resident Evil 4 on Quest 2 was quite a spectacular experience. But it'd
which
be even better on
also
PSVR.
which blows my mind too, because I don't think I would want anything graphically worse than the PSVR, because obviously it depends on the game, but some of the games aren't very good graphics, and I feel like it can limit the immersion you feel. The only thing the Quest 2 would have going for it is if the ability to fully move around accommodates or that increases immersion more than just good graphics. So,
So I thought that would be the case, but like I mentioned, Resident Evil 4, I played Resident Evil 4 in my garage. I backed my car out of the garage, made sure I had ample room because I was like, I'm going to play Resident Evil 4. I'm going to walk around this house, and I'm gonna walk
mhm.
around it, not going to move around it. You very quickly just start standing still and using the analog sticks, just because you're conditioned to do it, right? Like if I just walk around everywhere, I'm going to run into a wall. Even though you can define your play space, like it's just not the right way to locomote when you're playing VR if you don't have unlimited room. So it's cool. Like it is nice to like take that extra step a couple of times if I need to, but it's not like a deal breaker for me. And it certainly doesn't make it like, oh, this game is now playable because I can walk around a little bit. So the wirelessness is nice, but I think it's a bit overrated. I think at first impression it's like this is incredible, but if you really are like thinking about when you're playing PSVR or something like that, the wire is not really that much of an issue. Maybe when I play like a boxing game and I uppercut the wire right into my face, but you can manage the wire to go behind you or something. You'll be okay.
So this is a theoretical, because I feel like it would be hard to do, especially depending on where you live. It would maybe be difficult. Let's say I found you a field that was pretty flat and no one was around, and essentially you had unlimited boundaries. Do you think playing Resident Evil 4 and actually being able to move, like, I'm wondering, would that be a better play experience?
So for Resident Evil 4, I don't think so because there's like doors you got to open and stuff like that, and like it's gonna break that immersion there. There is like a space pirate trainer where you have to like play in a gymnasium because it's like a full arena. That'd be super fun. But it's such like a niche concept that like it's not a deal maker. It's not a deal breaker whether or not I have that. It'd probably be cool. I've never experienced it, and some people will love it probably. I just it's not that important to me. As much as I love VR, I'm the guy that really likes playing VR with a DualShock when I can. Like Doom VFR, I thought was way more fun with the DualShock than even the aim controller at times.
What?
Yeah, I enjoyed like I thought Resident Evil 7. I thought that was a great way to enjoy Resident Evil 7 because I'm less concerned about where my hands are and what they're doing, and I'm thinking more about the game itself because I've been conditioned as a longtime video game player to use the DualShock and separate my mind from my hands and really get into the experience.
I just don't know what to think about you. But here's the thing: I am gonna let's move on to segment 2. We'll go in a break. When we come back, we want to talk about a little bit more about those 2 million PSVR2s that are going to come to market, how that's going to position it, what is that going to do for you if you want to pick up PSVR2 on launch day, and what that means. Then we're going to talk about a rumor of Half-Life Alyx and PSVR2 potentially, and then we've got those sales, and you, the listeners, are going to decide what I'm going to play. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the other side of the break.
Welcome to Play PSVR2, the podcast, segment 2, the podcast. We're going to continue our discussion about the PSVR2 because Adam has some things he wants to talk about with regards to that 2 million number and what that means for potential PSVR2 buyers. Adam, what are you wondering about? Why are you scared of 2 million PSVR2 units getting out there in the environment?
Dude, that's a big number. But the good thing is that right now, people want PS5s. They still can't get PS5s. 2 years after the launch of this stupid thing, I have to think that 2 million PSVR2. Are you opening a bag of chips? Did you just open a bag of chips?
No, it's chocolate covered sunflower seeds. I'm sorry, man. I'm hungry.
Dude,
I told you
I
told you off air
listeners.
I've had no dinner.
This man is opening bags of chips live on the podcast.
Louder than I expected.
So anyhow, it is reported that Sony is in fact making 2 million PSVR2s at launch. So my question to you, Alex, is that in the whole world, there are 5 million PSVR1 sold. Now at launch, at one time, there's going to be 2 million PSVR2s. Do you think this means that you and I and the listeners will have an easy time finding a headset on launch day?
Oh God, I hope so, right? Because PSVR 1 was hard to get. It's hard to get. And yeah. 5 million is a good number, but compared to how hard they were to find initially, that's a bit lower than I would expect for how long the system's been out there. Now, granted, they kind of dropped support after a bit, understandably, because the tech got old. But no, I really hope I don't have to go through the hoops. I had to get my wife had to go to Canada to get my PSVR unit and bring it back for me. She was visiting family, but needless to say, that's the links I had to go to get a PSVR unit. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have to worry about it too much because I've been texting Mark Cerny. He said he's got one on hold for me. He said I can play it now, but I'm going to be true to the Gamer Nation and make sure I don't play it until anybody else plays it as well. But here's what I really hope. I hope to do that PSVR Direct thing again because I've bought so much crap on the PlayStation Store. I'm somehow in that like echelon where they're like, this dude's going to waste money on us. And they let me get in there and buy it. I got the PS5 that way. So I hope they do that again. If they do that, plus this 2 million are ready to go at launch, then it should be no problem to buy PSVR 2 units.
Here's why I told Cuck Cerny to go F himself because I've had so much better luck with GameStop. I've got my PS5 from GameStop. I got the first PSVR GameStop. I've gotten even the latest. There's this thing coming out that for Pokemon, it's like a big box. I'm gonna be able to sell. I'm not gonna do that because I hate scalpers. Bought it for $120. Promise you, promise you I could sell it day one for 500 and the price is just going to keep going up. It's nuts. GameStop has been good to me. So I think I'm going to go that route. But you're right. I would think that for some reason there are reports saying that Sony does think that this is going to be more popular. We cover it. We know the potential of the new technology, but I don't know how that's going to relate to someone who's not already in virtual reality unless they think all 5 million people with PSVR headsets, half of them are going to want it on day one, which I guess that could be, right? I mean, we're in line. I mean, I'm going to pre-order it day one.
That's a very excellent point. I didn't think about it that way. This also leads into our next topic, but they do know approximately, what percentage of PS5 owners are probably going to want a PSVR 2 because they know what percentage of PS4 owners wanted a PSVR 1. So yeah, and then they just know anybody who bought a PSVR back when it was like $400 or whatever is probably down to buy a PSVR 2, especially if it's way better and it's going to be like the best VR headset you can get when it comes out to launch. So I think this means they're expecting big things. The customers, at least I'm expecting big things. Even, the PC VR community are expecting big things. So it all kind of bodes well, but this gives credence to the rumor we're about to talk about. If Sony knows something about that rumor and that motivates them to be like, we got to have 2 million ready to go, that kind of makes me feel more confident in the rumor. We can just jump into it now if you want, unless you have something else to say.
No, I still got questions.
Okay,
I want to hit it, man. I want to hit it. So this is premature, and I know we'll talk about this again, but right now you're talking about PlayStation Direct, which is how you got your PS5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you right now? What's your game plan? If pre-orders open first for a GameStop, are you going to get a pre-order? Are you just going to bank on PlayStation Direct? Are you thinking there's going to be so many you're just going to get it in store so you're not going to worry? What right now, given what we know, which is probably all we're going to know even at launch, what do you think your game plans are going to be?
I hate doing this crap through GameStop, I'll say. You're a pro GameStop. I'm not a fan of GameStop when it comes to this kind of crap.
But why? Like, have you been burned?
Yeah, because it's never like I just want to pre-order a PlayStation VR 2. It's always like you're going to pre-order our GameStop premium bundle that's got a PSVR 2. It'll have one game that you want to buy, but it's also going to have like NBA 2K4 VR experience.
I've never had that. Like
$70.
The PS5 was
that literally happened. This is what happened. Last time I bought a PS5, I was getting one for a friend. I pre-ordered it. I luckily got one through GameStop for him. But it required that you also purchased for $70 WNBA 2K20 or something like that. And it's just like
I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, that's the garbage they kind of throw at you. Or it'll be like, oh yeah, it's a normal PSVR thing. But here you're gonna have this like stupid accessory nobody wants. Here's a thing you can put to cover your PSVR 2.
Oh no, I have to buy Astrobot 2. Oh no.
No, it's not that. They know people want that, but they have their own garbage that they shuffle in there too.
I have to buy Firewall Ultra. No.
Exactly. It's gonna be the Astrobot 2 Firewall Ultra combo pack, and it's like, oh my god, like I didn't want to get this game. I don't want to get it now, but I have to. It's the only way to get a PSVR 2. So my game plan is, yeah, I'll probably, whatever the first option out there is, I'm going to go for it because I can always cancel it. Or if I want to be a jerk, sell that spot on eBay for whatever reason.
Do that.
Yeah, I do not condone that behavior, but sometimes you got to make a buck, man.
Gotta make that money back.
No, I mean, I did that last time, right? I pre-ordered it at Target. And I got a PlayStation Direct. Didn't know I was going to get it. I got it. So I got one through PlayStation Direct. I hooked our boy J-Brad up with a PS5 from Target. So it was a good deal. I didn't give it to him, all right? I should have given it to him, but I didn't give it to him. I made him pay me handsomely.
You wanted to give it to him.
I wanted to give it to him. I'd still give it to him.
Okay, so I think that's a good game plan. Do you think whether, say you're going to buy it in store, do you think this is going to ship with bundles right off the bat? Or do you think they're going to make you buy the headset and then buy the game separately? Or have like where we know Firewall is going to be a launch title, let's be honest. They're going to have a Firewall bundle, just like they do now.
Man, I don't know, because I don't think they had bundles for the first one. No, they did have a bundle that came with like the VR. It's really the demo. What
VR
PSVR
Worlds.
Worlds? Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a bundle for that? I don't think bundles are going to be required because here's the thing. Last time they had the bundles because there was like get the PSVR headset, but then there was the one that was like get the PSVR headset with the camera and the Move controllers, so you got it all. They don't need to do that now, right? They don't need the camera. They don't have special controllers that might be needed, might not be needed. It's all there. You need the headset. You need the controllers. You're good to go. Sorry, I'm burping my head off here. So I don't think there's going to be bundles like that. GameStop is going to make stupid bundles, but I don't think Sony's going to have dumb bundles. They didn't do that with the PS5. Like I had to buy Spider-Man separate from my PS5 in the same pre-order package.
But what if you? I wonder if it's a good business move though, because I know I'm going to buy it. I'm probably going to buy all the launch titles or very darn close to them if money allows me to. So if they had a bundle and it was slightly cheaper and it had all the headset, the controller, and it had not like super stupid like WNBA, but say it had Astrobot and it had Firewall. Okay, I realize I'm probably gonna play Firewall, let's be honest. So and that was $20 cheaper than buying those things separately. I feel like that you could make a strong case that yeah, you should buy this rather than that crap separate.
So I would do that if that was the case, right? Like I'm probably going to try to buy as many launch games as I can too. So I'd be happy with it. But what they do is they don't do that. They do the full price of the headset, then the full price of a game, then the full price of another game that you probably don't want to get. It's going to be like the PlayStation 5 plus Demon Souls, yeah, plus Godfall. Like that's what's going to happen here. It's going to be PSVR 2 plus Astrobot 2 plus
Dude, all the launch titles that we know of, well, that we think, none of them I'm like, I mean,
right,
I know
they
we
haven't
talk
been
crap
announced
about
yet.
Firewall, but like with
Here we
this,
go, Adam. Let me turn it around on you. Are you going to buy PSVR 2 plus Astrobot 2 plus Carnival Games 2?
that's not going to be a launch title. But
No,
no, I'm not.
but that's the kind of game that that's going to be packed in.
Yeah, but that game has to be available at launch, which I don't think they're going to have.
Assume that kind of game is available at launch. That's the whole point. Astrobot 2 hasn't been announced, but we know something like that's going to be coming.
Yeah, I don't.
PSVR 2 plus Resident Evil 8 plus
Well, here I'm going to add the
Headmaster
plus.
2.
How about Half-Life Alyx?
There
How
we
about
go.
you add that to the bundle? Because I'm not sure where you saw this, but there were rumors that you saw that maybe Half-Life Alyx is going to be a PSVR 2 launch title. I'll let you describe the details of that, where you found it or whatever. Then I have a ton of questions because I don't get Half-Life Alyx. I'll let you start though.
Yeah, so this rumor's been batted around a lot. Like it's not anything new that PSVR 2 is going to have Half-Life Alyx. Like that's not a new rumor. The new rumor is that Half-Life Alyx will be a PSVR 2 launch title and that Sony is publishing Half-Life Alyx for PSVR 2. That's the new rumor. Is it valid? I don't know because it came from some website that calls itself The Leak, which is like, the lady doth protest too much. It's if you have to call yourself The Leak, you're probably not The Leak. So I don't know how much credence I give to it. I feel like there's enough smoke to where there is some kind of fire there about Half-Life Alyx and PSVR. And Valve hasn't done too much with Half-Life Alyx since it launched.
So why does it matter that Sony is going to be publishing it rather than whoever's made it? I don't know who.
So I think if Sony's publishing it, then it could be like a bundle launch title. If Sony's publishing it, Sony is financially invested in that game specifically, that game's success rather than just PSVR 2 success in general, which means they might have thrown money to Steam's way to make sure that Steam adds some nice new feature just for PSVR 2, or to make sure that I say Steam, Valve, to make sure that Valve is like making sure the port is amazing, kind of like they did with No Man's Sky, right? Like Sony pumped up a ton of money into No Man's Sky to make sure it was a good product on the PlayStation. Then later they can release it on whatever. So I think that's why it's valuable that Sony might be the publisher. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I could see a value in that. Because, like, as much as Horizon Call of the Mountain looks good and fun and enjoyable, it's not a system seller. People will buy PSVR 2 just to play Half-Life Alyx. People will probably buy a PS5 and PSVR2 just to play Half-Life
Okay,
Alyx.
so this is perfect leading in. So I have heard about Half-Life Alyx for so long. I know people play on what, so it's on the Index.
It's just on PC VR, Steam VR. So if you have a PC capable VR headset, you can play Half-Life
Okay,
Alyx.
okay. So I would argue that a lot of the people who are big VR heads are they have PSVR and they have all these other things, right?
Yeah.
And why they probably already played it because they have PC VR as well. So why in the world is would someone like why is this so exciting? What is it about this game? Because it sounds like Skyrim. Like they just keep
No.
making it and
Yeah,
now it's
no.
ported everywhere. Why is this such a big deal?
So there's kind of PC game history to talk about. To explain this to you, I'll be brief about it. Back in the day when first-person shooters came out, like it was Doom, and you just shoot guys and run through the level. And they made it better and better. There's Doom 2, there was Quake, and that was cool, and there were other first-person shooters, but it was always just run around, shoot the guys, get to the end. Then Half-Life came out, and it was like, whoa, what if instead of like levels, it was one continuous environment, and there was like a story that mattered, and like the gameplay was like kind of intelligent, you had to think about it. So that was pretty incredible. That was around PS2 era, but it was on the PC. Then Half-Life 2 came out, and it was like, wow, not only is the story also like pretty great, the technology is amazing, and now physics is a component to how the gameplay works. So it was kind of like the next level, like a true next-gen experience and a true validation of the technology at the time. Then Half-Life 2 or Half-Life 3 never came out. So people for the longest time just figured Half-Life was dead. Then they released Half-Life Alyx, which is like the next story that everybody was waiting on, and you can only play it on PC VR currently, which cut off a ton of people. There's a ton of people who loved Half-Life on the PlayStation 3. They can't play Half-Life Alyx because there's no PSVR port. So now this kind of closes that loop and says, hey, all of you console gamers who don't have a PC that can do VR, you now have a PS5. You can do PSVR 2 and play Half-Life Alyx. Get that next Half-Life, which I'm totally ignoring the fact that Half-Life Alyx is again one of those situations where it's like this validates VR. This shows the non-VR enthusiast why VR is an awesome gameplay mechanism.
But the game, I know you've played the game, so it is like that. Like, how good are we talking? We thought Resident Evil 7 was incredible when we played it. Like that level, like above that, where are we talking?
I'd say probably at that level or slightly above, just because of the historical significance it elevates it a bit. But like Resident Evil 7 was this is VR. This is incredible that we can do this, right? Half-Life Alyx is that feeling because I've grown up playing Half-Life and it's like I'm now in City 17 in Half-Life. I am now face to face with the G-Man in Half-Life. This is incredible stuff I've dreamed of. And then, of course, just like the rock solid VR mechanics. Valve is a company that doesn't mess around. They're not going to release something if it's not super cool, if it's not working right, if it's not fun. They will kill something if it's no good. So that's why Half-Life Alyx is so good. Everything makes sense. Everything works the way it's supposed to. Everything's balanced the way it's supposed to be. The other side fact is if Half-Life Alyx is a runaway success on PSVR 2, we could be looking at like Portal VR, which I think is in the works or something like that. So there's just so many doors open if this is successful. And there's so many reasons to make it a thing on PSVR 2.
Yeah. Okay, so you really think that people would buy a PS5 and a PSVR 2 just for this game?
Definitely, because there's people who don't want to go through the bother of building a gaming PC. Maybe they're still holding on to their PS4 because like Ragnarok is coming out for PS4 still.
So it's not necessarily just the fact that the game is that good. It's that it would be like if I was missing a piece of the Kingdom Hearts games and I wanted to play it, and the next installment, Kingdom Hearts 4, was on this new VR or console or whatever, and to get it, I would have to buy it. And am I invested enough in Kingdom Hearts to do that?
Yeah.
And you think Half-Life people are?
Yeah, right? Except Half-Life is good and Kingdom Hearts is pretty bad. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I'll put it this way. If Half-Life Alyx comes to PSVR 2 on the PS5, that might be the best PlayStation 5 exclusive game that's out there.
I mean, it wouldn't be exclusive, right? Because it's still on Valve and stuff, right?
No, but I mean exclusive that like Xbox doesn't have it and that PS4 doesn't have it.
Oh, okay.
Like of the console games that you can play, you can only play Half-Life Alyx on PS5.
Yeah,
That would be the best console exclusive on PS5.
interesting. Okay, last question before, because I know you said we have a lot of sales. I want to give us. I gotta give us 20 more minutes. Let's say we've got Astrobot Rescue Mission 2. We've got Firewall Ultra. We've got Resident Evil 8. We've got Horizon, whatever the heck they're calling it. We've got Half-Life Alyx. I don't know. I don't know. Any other game you want to throw in there you think might be a launch title? Which one? Where would Half-Life rank? Is it the best one?
It is easily the best one, but I will say if Resident Evil 8 had not come out, had not already been out for like a year or so now, and it was launched as a PS5 game but also PSVR capable, then it would kind of be neck and neck because Resident Evil 7 was such a like amazing surprise that Resident Evil 8 like the bar would be that high. But it's already been out for a year, so like some of the luster has fallen off. New to VR, but it's still kind of normal. So easily Half-Life Alyx, yeah.
One more question, because I thought about it. You and many other VR guys have already played Half-Life Alyx. What does I know you have PS5. What does Sony have to do to change it up in, if anything, I guess, in PSVR2 for you to want to play it again in PSVR2, even though you've already played it on the Index?
I already want to play it again on PSVR2. So right out of the gate, like no questions asked.
Nothing.
I'm going to do that, but let's say I wasn't already going to do that, and I need to convince myself. Here's what Sony could do to make this a more appetizing edition. They can maximize the consistent hardware of PS5 so they can optimize the game to look as good as maybe the best PC out there or something close to that, right? So that's good. They can leverage the tech of the PSVR2 headset, not only in terms of like how good the resolution is probably going to be because it's wired, but also haptic feedback. Like go lean all the way in on these weird features of PSVR2 and make me happy I bought it and happy they have those features, happy I paid for those features. So yeah, like haptic triggers on the guns. That's awesome. Just extra sensory stuff happening with the PSVR2 that you wouldn't normally get on any other PSVR or VR headset. Like those things need to be done. And if Sony's playing along, they should be making that happen. I know Valve certainly has the ability to make that happen. So I'm getting myself super hyped off of a rumor, just spitballing on why I love Half-Life Alyx on PSVR.
It'd be wild. And from spitballing and Half-Life Alyx, let's spitball on some sales, because you said there's a load of them, and you're only going to cover the ones that are $10 or less because I'm not going to buy a game more expensive than that. Right? Is that your thinking?
That's partially it. There's so many games on sale. I'd hate to just do the same sales every week because a lot of those are just repeats. We're gonna have some repeats here, but really I'm categorizing it as games under $10 because to me it's like $10 is where a game becomes like a yay or a nay, not like wait for it to be on sale.
That's a good point. And remember, listeners, this is where you email contact@playpsvr.com or you comment on YouTube channel, whatever you do. And you suggest one of these games for me to purchase and play for the next podcast. Alyx will choose a random comment. That is the game I'm going to have to play and choose. And then not only will you get a free Doom 3 physical version.
Or one of these other ones. Not Quar, but one of the other ones I'll give out. I don't care.
Okay. Any of those.
Blood and Truth.
And I can tell you how bad the game that you chose is. That's
Great.
A pretty good deal.
It's like a cameo. You do a cameo for them of how bad the game they want.
Dude, I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
Listener, whoever is the winner. Go ahead, hit me, Alyx. Let's get rolling.
Dragon Rideover. It's actually Dragon Ride VR, but it's one word. So Dragon Rideover, $224.
I would rider than Rideover. No.
Neon Wall, $249.
No. Oh no.
Deadland VR, 99 cents.
Oh gosh, that game is awful. You might as well just play it on your phone.
Coaster for $224.
Coaster, all those are horrible. No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Coaster. I barely knew her. Blind, $249.
Yeah, you do need to play that one. That's a legit game, though.
Listen to how this guy flip flops week over week.
What?
199 for the
I
game.
said no because F you. We gotta keep going. I know we're running out of time. What game is this?
Perfect 199.
No, perfect. Perfectly stupid.
Good. Sports Bar VR 2.0 for 374.
Listen, go to a real sports bar because you'll actually find people. There's no one in there. There's no one plays that anymore.
The cover is a chicken holding a paintball gun. Does that change your opinion at all?
Am I thinking about a different game?
No. Sports Bar VR 2.0 has a chicken holding a Nerf
Dude, just
gun.
play pocket pool.
All right. Apocalypse Rider 249.
Please don't do this. We can't support crap games.
The Rabbit Hole 249.
I haven't played this. You said it was horrible, though.
It is horrible, but Adam, I have a question for you. It's Halloween season. How much would you pay for one genuine jump scare? One genuine, oh crap. One genuine experience.
Who likes to be jump scared? I don't know.
You like scary games. How much would you pay to know that at some point in this 15-minute experience, I would just be like, oh my God.
69 cents.
Okay, well, the price is $2.49, so I guess it's a no. Yeah. Virtue, no, that's not on sale. Let's see. Goodness. Not all of them are on sale. Okay, Viking Days for $2.49.
I played this. Horrible. I would rather eat this mic.
Moto Racer 4 for $3.99.
I'd rather ride my real bike, baby. I got a Harley in the back and a Sweetie up top.
Boxed In for $3.59.
Oof, this sounds familiar, but I can't remember this.
I think this was one of the last games somebody gave us codes for, but we weren't doing the podcast, so it was like we just never responded to them, which now I feel sounds terrible.
Yeah, I hope you're wrong. That is awful. Let's review it, and we'll send them months, maybe a year after it's released. Here's our review.
Here's our review. I hope you're happy. Yeah, for Doom VFR, $4.49.
Dude, you gotta buy that game unless you get it for free because you're gonna comment and Alex is gonna give it to you for free.
Discovery for $2.39.
Dude, I kind of like Discovery. This is a Minecraft clone. Oh gosh, you could go to other people's worlds. Like, it was the first written. This was the first code we ever got. This was the first written review on PlayPSVR.com we ever did. Because of that, it has a sweet spot in my soul. But no, you shouldn't buy it. I'm sorry.
I've already forgotten what game you're talking about because I'm moving so fast. Electronauts for $4.99.
Just like my hips, this game sucks. Don't play that.
I thought Electronauts was going to be the word to describe your hips, and I was working real hard to get there. Heavy Fire, Red Shadow, $2.99.
Wow. If you have that many words in your title, you must suck. Don't play this.
It is 0.99 points higher than what I gave it out of 10. Super Amazeballs for $4.99. Sorry, that's not on sale, but Super Amazeballs for $4.99.
No.
Okay. All right. Space Junkies for $4.99.
I know you're going to say buy that up. I'm just so sick of wave shooters, man. No.
First of all, it's not a wave shooter. You're thinking of Space Pirate Trainer. Second of all, I'm not going to say buy that up because the servers are down. You can't play it unless you play by yourself floating around.
Oh.
It's a 99-cent game now. Theseus for $2.49.
No.
Cat Lateral Damage for $4.99.
Real sweet, but unless you have a slipper, it's a pass.
Okay, Adam, I got an interesting proposition for you. I'm walking into GameStop with a $5 gift card that my grandma gave me for my 5th birthday. And I have a PSVR, and all of these games are physical, and I walk in, and the only games they have in stock are Just in Time Incorporated for $4.99 or VEV, Viva X Vivo VR Edition for $4.99. Which one am I spending that gift card on?
The thing is, I like Vive a lot.
I know, that's why this is a dilemma.
It is really cool, but it's a hard mother effort, and it could be real annoying. It's cool if you're a nerd, but Just in Time is one of those games that's underappreciated. It is a classic. You have to go with Just in Time Incorporated. Both of those, if you're a science guy or gal, go buy Vive as well. But Just in Time Incorporated has to be purchased. It has to be played. just like a toilet has to be flushed.
This is Adam competing with Meryl Streep for Sophie's Choice right now. That was impressive, Adam. I'm so glad that you were able to split that baby. Let's do Waltz of the Wizard Extended Edition for $4.99.
I would rather waltz into the graveyard than play that crap.
Eagle Flight, $4.99.
Ducks.
Batman Arkham VR, $4.99.
I'm not playing this until they make it free. Why have they not made it free yet?
Is that it for this? No, A Fisherman's Tale, $4.49.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played it. This was the game that I bought, and I just haven't played it yet.
It's an easy yes. Transference for $6.24.
It's free on PlayStation Plus, so don't buy it. It's not that good anyhow.
It's got Elijah Wood behind it. Wolfenstein Cyberpilot.
I don't want to watch another TV show or movie he's in. Learn to produce some games, buddy, because you did a bad job. Wolfenstein is all right. What price?
$6.59.
I would really like it at $5. I wouldn't make fun of you at $6.59, but you know it's on the border.
Don't Knock Twice for $4.99.
I need to buy this. I didn't. I need to buy it. It's a scary game, perfect for October.
Yeah. Speaking of scary, Ranch Planet for $6.99.
Yeah, I need you to read the PlayStation Store description for me first. But no, don't buy this. Please don't waste your money.
The story is like a novel with layers. Nobody gets it. It's like the next Ulysses by Joyce Carol. Anyways, sorry. Battle Wake, $7.49.
No, bad game.
The Assembly for $4.49.
This one has some hype to it. It's too old. I'm gonna pass.
Mini Motor Racing X, $7.49.
Anything with motor in it, unless it's called Motor Boat, you can just say no. I'm not buying it.
This might be the best idea we've ever had on this podcast. Motorboat VR. The game. The podcast. Anyways, we'll talk later. Sprint Vector for $7.49.
I feel like it's a pretty good game. I don't know if any people play now, though.
What about yes or no, Adam?
No.
What about Shooty Fruity, $5.99?
No.
Doom 3 VR Edition. If you didn't win the competition here, $7.99.
Go to your GameStop. You can find it for $2, apparently.
If you can't, $7.99.
No.
All right, Adam. So close. Brain Beats, $8.99.
Brain Hub. I was gonna say. I want to be sensitive to the young listeners. I was gonna make a joke about beating. Beat eggs, not yourself.
Okay. Keep talking and nobody explodes on themselves, $8.99.
Yes. Explode on yourself. Yes.
Probably one of the best party games for PSVR, I think. Persona 5 Dancing in the Starlight, $8.99.
I love Persona 5 music, and I still won't buy that. It's really awkward. Like, just anime, man. They're so weird.
Home Sweet Home, $5.99.
Yes. Terrifying. Great game for Halloween.
Now, here's where I need you to answer for me, Adam. Gorn for $9.99. This is that gladiator combat comical game.
No. Okay. It is overrated when it launched, and it's overrated now. It's not worth $10.
Time Carnage, $7.99.
Horrible. No.
Did you play Time Carnage?
I think.
I don't remember getting it. Lucky's Tale for $7.99. I'm going to say no. Arizona Sunshine, no. I'm going to say no. Arizona Sunshine, $5.99.
No.
Is that Rush VR, $9.99.
You played that one, I didn't.
We played it as a party. It's fun for $10. Gun Club VR, $9.99.
No.
Raw Data, $9.99.
Still, come on, that should be cheaper, man. It's been out for so long.
Gran Turismo Sport, $9.99.
No.
And I think we have made it to the end, Adam. Thank you.
That is it. So that's it, folks. Let me know what game that you want me to play. Comment or email. And here's the thing. I want to thank you for listening to PlayPSVR2, the podcast. And I'm sure I'm going to hate the game that you're going to pick for me. I really am. But before I go, I want to say that, Alyx, my penis was in the Guinness Book of World Records. But then the librarian told me to take it out. We're virtual reality. is our reality.